Hey, good evening, Mr. Jamie Brett.
Evening.
How we doing tonight?
Like I told you, I almost feel like I'm getting a cold or something, but we'll
That's what it
see.
sounded like. Hey, how you doing there, Eric? And Trampus Brenner is joining us so far this evening. I know that the Rumble channel went live as well. I can switch over here, and looks like we got 5 watching there. But it's like I got a 2-minute delay, so it hasn't really started over there yet. That's
That's
okay.
right. You said that it did do that over there.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, but we'll take it, won't we? Hey,
You
one
bet.
shot cap. He says, "Let's roll, Patriots." And Brian Wanner. Good evening, Mister Fellow MVE yourself.
Yes, sir.
That never gets old, does it? So,
No, love
tell
that.
you what. Why don't you read us the Second Amendment tonight? You probably got it memorized like I do.
Yeah,
But hey,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
put it up
Well,
there.
a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Notice, Democrats, the word musket was not in there.
That's right. And nothing about a musket is there. So I'm gonna let everybody know that the chats. I'm seeing them, but are they coming in on your end, Jamie? I don't see them on my
Yeah,
end on the
yeah, I
public
got
side.
him. I got him. The last
Okay.
one I got. Hey, Vance Bishop. Hey, guys. Evening, Vance.
Okay,
Thanks for
good.
coming in.
Just
Yep.
keep
Yeah.
reading them off because I don't know
Yeah.
what the
Eric
problem
Newman
is.
says, evening, everyone. Trampus Brenner. Good evening, Clay. Josh
Yep.
Patterson. What's up, fellas? Hey,
Oh, wow.
Josh. And like you said, yeah, you got Brian. Brian's on there. So, and then one shot cap, you got his. So, yeah,
You're
you're seeing them.
seeing a ton of them that I'm not even seeing.
I got it blown up on the side of my screen here, so I
Well,
can't really see
I
anything else.
I got it here too, but I don't know why it's not coming over on the overlay. But that
Hey,
it doesn't matter.
hey, Keith. Evening to you.
Yeah, they'll probably have to chime in
Excuse
here
me.
in a little bit, I imagine. So I know sometimes boom, then they'll all just load up. But all right, well then I guess tonight we got kind of a different show planned in a way. We're gonna do a lot of the same stuff. I'm gonna probably skip the which is gonna be the commie company of the week. I won't have that because we got a lot of things. We got a surprise guest coming up here in about 20, 30 minutes that he's gonna have a little report from a South Dakota hunt that we helped him out with. So
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
to have him on.
Awesome.
Hey Dan, good to see you. I seen Dan's comment. Dan's just came in, so
Yeah,
good
I
to have
just
you
saw
with us,
that
Dan.
too. Yep, and Western Edge. Yeah, Dan's coming out there. Yeah, another MVE. Perfect, perfect.
That's right. That's right. And of course, we're going to have a little announcement to make here in a little bit. But definitely, there's going to be some changes here, guys. But don't fret, everybody. It's still good.
Yep.
So, but I guess let's just dive in. You want to go first? Do you want me to go on it first here?
Yeah, go ahead. Which one are we hitting on? We want to go with the changes? Or are we doing Trump first? What do you want to talk
Let's
about?
go with Trump first, and
Okay.
we'll talk about the
Okay.
changes that are
So
coming.
if you've seen on our Facebook page, I bought an AR upper, and I had this lower since the meat puppet got elected there, and my lower's got a Trump with it's got the Trump hair on the
Punisher.
Punisher sign, and it's on the side of my AR lasered on there. So that was my lower. I built it and took a picture of it, and a commenter. He thought that wasn't a very good thing to have on there because he said, he pointed out that Trump said with the pertaining to red flag laws, I like to take the guns first and worry about due process later, which I distinctly remember Trump saying that, and I'm not sure he was completely serious about that. But which kind of raised the question. Some people claim that President Trump was not pro Second Amendment. In fact, I was going over some old articles I remember reading, and some of them even claimed Obama was more pro Second Amendment than Trump. How these people can convince themselves of this stuff is beyond me.
Yeah.
So Clay and I are going to go over a little bit of some of the stuff is probably anti-gun and what some would consider anti-gun, and we're going to go over what really in our minds makes him very pro Second Amendment, Clayton. So you want to go ahead and start out with something?
I tell you, you take the first one. I'm checking out something here on the
Okay,
other side of
so we
the
all know this one.
podcast.
I think almost everybody can agree on this, that when he directed the ATF to ban bump stocks, that was definitely not a pro Second Amendment move. Clay and I talked about this at the time. I couldn't, bump stocks were fun. I've used many of them. I never owned one. Allegedly, just kidding. But I never have owned a bump stock. But I shot Clayton's. I shot some of my buddies, and I didn't really bother me. They were getting banned. Like I said, they're fun, but and then it did turn into something else. Like trying to get the ATF to ban everything else because of that, you know. And then he did, of course, speak highly of red flag laws at the point. I don't know if he was playing his 4D chess there or whatever, because he never, you know, they never really talked about that again. And then, of course, there was that shooting in Virginia where the guy had the 45 pistol and he had the suppressor on. And I think I got exactly what Trump said. This actually pissed me off at the time. He said, we're going to seriously look at banning gun silencers. I'm going to seriously look at it. I don't love the idea of those things. And then,
Hey, Wayne.
in the NRA warned him, don't do that. That's a bad move. You know, it's anti-Second Amendment. I would go against that. And of course, I never heard Trump say another word about it. I think his sons might have talked to him about it, because Don Jr. is extremely pro Second Amendment.
I got a little insight on that. That, of course, I was still at the NRA at that time. Yep. And I know that Trump and Chris Cox, and I imagine Wayne LaPierre was there at the same time, but mostly Chris Cox at that time, they had quite a long conversation about the suppressor thing, and that's when it went away as far as the talk of it. In fact, if everybody doesn't remember, the first year and a half, 2 years, Trump's own party, we had the House, resisted him on, he said, get the Hearing Protection Act, get it to my desk, get National Concealed Carry to my desk, and I'll sign it. So, I mean, he really came around, and you and I will talk about that here in a little bit, because we've talked about this already as to where is Trump, then and now, because it's a big difference. It really is.
Yep. And then, of course, after the ban on the bump stocks, this Emily Miller from the Washington Post, and I've actually read this story on a couple of pro Second Amendment websites, that Trump was floated the idea more than once about banning AR-15s after that, and he apparently said this to Dianne Feinstein and to some Parkland families. But of course, I never heard him say anything, but he wasn't going to ban them on that. So I don't know if that's just people not liking Trump and bringing that up, or what it was. But the farther he got into his presidency, and what I saw was him definitely becoming more pro Second Amendment. I never thought when he ran, Clay, that President Trump was a big pro 2A guy. I mean, he had some pro Second Amendment feelings, and he had stuff. He supported an assault weapons ban earlier before he ran for president, and among other things. So,
well, I can remember you and I and Scott, we were up there at, I believe it was that man night that Cedric Field put on.
Yeah,
and afterwards we went out to eat and have a few, and we were talking about it. And who was I? I was a Ted Cruz guy, because what was my biggest concern? I didn't think Trump was pro Second Amendment enough. Based on this, what you said, yes, guys, they're. You know what? I don't think Trump's ever made an excuse for it. He's said, I used to think that way. And he's said, I don't think that way no more. And he's actually said that. And he was more, what do you want to say, middle of the road on the Second Amendment before he actually ran for president.
Yeah, I mean, he was like a FUD.
Yeah, he really was. He did support an assault weapons ban. He don't no more. And he has shifted. You know, you take 2014, 15 Trump, and fast forward now to 2023. Oh my goodness, it's night and day.
Yeah.
And I think too, part of the people he had that he was surrounded with at that time, probably gave him bad advice. And you notice he cleaned out those people very quickly in his administration. They didn't last long there. And as he went into this, he figured it out. He really did, which leads to some of probably the most conservative Supreme Court that we've probably had in my time.
As
far as that goes,
I don't even know when it has been more.
maybe
I don't know, in the early 1900s is when they kind of stacked it, didn't they, the leftists? And
pretty much on the FDR and that whole crew. But I'm going to kind of go over a few things that people probably don't remember, other than the Supreme Court justices that were approved. But
that's huge.
He basically put his foot on the neck of the Department of Justice, and when doing that, they reached a settlement with Defense Distributed and a Second Amendment Foundation, removing ITAR restrictions that had been put in place by the Obama administration. They criminalized the transfer. I don't know if anyone even remembers this, but of the computer code on how to make guns on the internet. And he got that thing. It impaired First Amendment and Second Amendment rights, because who cares if you have the plans? I mean, the 1911 schematics have been out there forever now, and you can get them anywhere you want. So that was one thing that he did. He started out with. Corps of Engineers, they agreed to finally settle 2 cases that challenged the constitutionality. I don't know if anybody remembers this. I do. Where they wanted to ban the exercise of the Second Amendment on all Corps land. And they really did. They wanted to, and that come under the Obama administration. Trump said, no, you're not going to do that. So he got them to settle that in reverse. Now, I haven't looked up to see what Biden's done since, but I'm just going over what President Trump, these little things that nobody even talks about.
Yep.
He big time, he was I don't know if anybody knew this, but he actually possessed a concealed carry permit in New York City, which was, that's one of the most difficult concealed carry permits to get at that time. And basically his idea was, hey, an armed populace, an armed person is a person who can defend himself. And that's the exact position he was taking. During the schools, when we had all these school shootings, he basically come out and said, listen, armed teachers are a way to go. If you have armed teachers, if you have armed people in the area, you're going to have less crime, less problems. They're going to be a deterrent. And he did. He really supported that. Even probably, I think it got stronger as his presidency went on.
No, Clay, he said he was going to get that passed, and he didn't.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard that? He said he was going to get national reciprocity. It never happened. In case anybody doesn't know, that was because Mitch McConnell refused to let that come to a vote in the Senate. So,
and not only that, remember Paul Ryan?
Yeah, that turd too. Yeah,
both of them guys, they wouldn't bring these, and they didn't let them happen. We could have passed them both. All the Republicans, and that's our party, guys. The Republicans in the House and the Senate failed to basically push forward a Second Amendment pro Second Amendment agenda with real bills that could have done real things. Wouldn't bring them, and we lost the House, and boom, that was the end of both of them. So that's the Republicans' fault, not Trump. Trump kept saying, get them to my desk, I'll sign them. Get them to my desk, I'll sign them. Another thing, right there, I got this highlighted in one of the things I've looked up, National Reciprocity and the Hearing Protection Act. He didn't have the support of his own party. They wouldn't bring things to the floor. They wouldn't pass them. And boom, we lost the House. And after that, there was no chance of getting them. And we're still there. We could have probably had that by now. Can you imagine the Hearing Protection Act?
Oh, man.
No more $200 tax stamp for a suppressor. Man. Could have just bought it like any other accessory. But no, then I blame Rhino Ryan and the turtle, Mitch McConnell. So, yeah, I mean, that's just
and in case somebody notices, I'm usually wearing my brown ND2A cap. I'm wearing my red one here because we're talking about President Trump.
Now, yeah. And I got to say this, that the bump stock thing, you and I remember when we talked on the phone, and this is before we had the show, and I said, man, I can't get behind that. And it's not a big deal. And you're right. It was the bump stock itself. You know what? It was a niche item. Well, it was fun, but it wasted a lot of ammo and really with no really good results. But it was a lot of fun to just go blow some 263 off in a hurry.
Blast.
But my biggest concern at that time was exactly what we're seeing now is what will somebody like the Democrats do with that kind of power? Well, we've seen them now take it to a farther degree. And don't get me wrong, Trump he did. After the Las Vegas shooting, he said, hey, we got to do something. And he kind of told the BA or the ATF to do this and review it. And they did. And that's how that rule come about. I think he regrets that now today. Now we're seeing it overturned in the courts. So fast forward now, we know, so these are the things that led up to this, but the Supreme Court, we had 3 justices go in under him. And what was the biggest, probably crowning moment for Second Amendment ruling that we've seen as of lately?
Yep. Yeah. The Bruin decision, among others.
Bruin. And not only that,
the lower courts have
the lower courts
too.
Did you look up the number by chance? I didn't.
I did, and I think he put in like the most or the second most judges ever appointed.
He did
for presidency.
Yes.
So
I mean, he filled them spots up and down the lower courts with good conservative constitutional judges, and it's paying dividends because we're starting to see these courts, unless they're in far left-wing areas like the Ninth Circus. I always loved it. Rush Limbaugh always called it the Ninth Circus Court. of appeals, but that's because they are. It's just full of wackadoodles.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the most overturned appeals court in the United States, if nobody knows that.
Yeah, I
They
love
are.
that. I love it.
So that tells you what they're like. But as a whole, we're seeing a lot of lower court decisions in our favor. And of course, they're appealed. They run their way through the system, and then they get up to them bigger courts. And now with Bruin, some of them courts are throwing them out and dismissing them. And you're not hearing a lot about that in the news because you're not going to. But that's because they know if it goes to Supreme Court, it'll just harden the precedent of Bruin, and because it's all based on historical use. So that was huge. That's probably, to me, as far as the Second Amendment goes, that's probably the jewel in Trump's hat on that.
I mean, he not only protected the Second Amendment rights. He actually, he got, like you said, the judges, and he promotes your Second Amendment rights. He promotes self-defense. So, I mean, it's a complete opposite with people like Biden in there, and any Democrat pretty much anymore. And there's a few handfuls of them, but for the most part,
absolutely. Yeah, let's get to some of these comments quickly.
Yeah,
here.
Go for it.
We'll say, hey, Lynette, good, glad to see you tuning in here. Trump learned a lot. If he gets in again, there'll be no holds barred. He gets one term to do what he wants and not listen to the talking heads. That's true, and I think you'll see a very, very, very different term because he knows what to do now. He's going to go in there, and on day one, I have no doubt things are going to happen fast, very fast. Paula's in there. She's right on, Lynette. Hey, Axe says, and he isn't like neocon pushing endless wars, driving up ammo prices. Hey, ammo prices, that's a whole nother thing. DJ's listening in from Bowman. I'm in Bowman, heading home. Good to have you listening, Doug. Be careful out there. There's a lot of deer on the road out in that country. Wayne Muth, appreciate you tuning in there.
Wayne.
And Vance. Talked to Vance a little bit earlier today, and you're right. It's a slippery slope with every little step, and it truly is. It truly is.
We're slipping it back on them just like they did it. So how they're liking it now.
There's gonna be a lot of things.
Dan Brown says it would have been tough to get 60 votes in the Senate for the Hearing Protection Act. Yeah, that is true, Dan. But I'm always the one who says let's have a vote on it so we can get people's vote down on some paper. Let's have it that way.
I am too, and you're right, especially at the makeup of the Senate, even at that time. But to not even bring it to a vote was a mistake. Now we got zero chance. I mean, even if the Republicans bring it forth, Biden's not going to sign it. But again, let's put them on the record. I'd like to see a vote take place in the House of Representatives on the Hearing Protection Act and see who's with us and who isn't, because that's what it is. Yeah, that'd be a really good litmus test. It really would. So, well, tell you what, should we let's take one of our first obscene profit time out, and then we'll come back and we got a special guest that's going to join us. Maybe he wants to weigh in a little bit on this, but we're going to talk a little bit of hunting. So let's let her roll here, I think.
Lauer Auto Repair. They're located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota, or give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can tackle any problem your vehicle is having, and when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with the Pro Second Amendment America First Repair Shop. There's plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area, but why take the chance of patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake, Lauer Auto is your Pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them you heard they're a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our Pro Second Amendment, Pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308, located at 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota.
All right. And of course, we can't say enough about Lauer Auto Repair down there, 309 South Washington. Them guys do a fantastic job of getting everything going. With more ado here, I got to mention this. Doug Thompson, he says custom move bumper makes hamburger them at 79. He's talking about the deer coming outside of Bowman. So
perfect.
So I guess we have a surprise guest. Talked to Andy today, and he said we could come on. We've been trying to get together here for a while, so we have.
Yeah, you growing some beard out, Andy, or what?
Yeah, man. I can hear it too in the background.
Looking good, buddy.
It's getting cold out there, man.
So Andy Elliott, he is from Blade Rain Television. He's got a great little program going over there, and So we were just talking about Trump. I don't know how much of that you heard, but do you want to weigh in on that as long as we got you on? Is he pro-gun or isn't he?
I don't know what you guys were even talking about, man. I've been out in the shop working and jumping on here trying to read through the comments and kind of catch up.
We were just talking, Andy. I just real quick. I built a lower AR with the Trump Punisher on there with the Trump hair, and somebody commented on the picture there on Facebook that wasn't very good. Trump wasn't very pro Second Amendment. So we were kind of talking about some of the things that people considered what he did not pro Second Amendment, but with his judicial appointments and a bunch of stuff he turned around from Obama and whatnot, and actually promoted our Second Amendment, right?
Yeah.
So,
No, for sure.
Yeah, he probably the most pro Second Amendment president that George Bush is pretty good too. Although you remember he did say. When the sunset ban and the assault weapons ban, he said to get it to my desk and I'll sign it. He did say that. But he probably knew it wasn't getting there anyway. So,
yeah. But I would say out of our modern times, Trump's probably been the most pro Second Amendment who actually got things done. You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I got a 50 receiver that's got that same that logo on it.
Awesome, man.
If I'd have been thinking, I'd have uploaded that photo, Jamie, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like it's a Punisher with the Trump hair on it, just like Andy said on his. So it's pretty cool. I am a Ron DeSantis guy, but Ronnie D doesn't have himself a lower receiver with his face laser on there. Maybe some company will personalize him one, but you can't just go down to Runnings and buy them like I did. So
no,
you'd have to have that done personally. So, well, tell you what. I guess we'll move away from the Trump thing. I think everybody knows where we stand on that. Yep. So I'm going to bring up a little hunt that we helped Andy out with here, and I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about it, and then we'll put some pictures up because you did well. I mean, you had a small window of hours, guys, not days, hours, and he got it done. I'll tell you.
Nice work, Andy.
No, I appreciate it, man. No, it was had a very, very, very small window, and I. Of course, running 100 miles an hour with everything else we got going on,
your wife chimed in.
Yeah.
Note to other wives.
Yeah. So, but no, we got down, and I don't know if a lot of the viewers know, but Clay, you helped me out on that deal, and we got down to South Dakota. I'd made a lot of calls trying to get down on some private ground down there because the gentleman that we were going to hunt with, he got held up in the hospital and kind of cut me out, and it was kind of a last minute deal. But
how's he doing, by the way?
He's doing good. He's doing a lot better. Yeah, he had got in a bad motorcycle accident. And he was having some bleeding issues, as far as in the brain and stuff like that.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm not laughing at that. My wife just chimed in. Hello. Love you too.
So speaking of that, before you go on, Andy, I got to say, everybody out there who knows Marty Beard, his wife's having some serious medical problems there down in Mayo. If you guys do say your prayers, and I'd say a prayer for Marty and his wife, Chris, they need them.
Absolutely. They need them, and we're just kind of waiting to hear from what he told us. So yeah, Marty's a big supporter, a big patriot. I can't say enough about him and his wife. She's just right there with him. So yeah, please keep them guys in your prayers tonight. They could sure use them.
You bet. So yeah, Andy, go and continue on there. You got a hold of Clayton, and he kind of hooked you up with the landowner there.
Yeah, he hooked me up with a landowner down in South Dakota that he knows there, and I had a very small window and jumped in the pickup truck and went down, and one thing led to another. What's funny is by the time Clay tried to figure out if I was, it was already over.
It was done. He already had it on the ground.
Dang, that was fast then.
I think he responded with this picture right there. I'm like, oh heck, he's done already.
There you go.
Job.
Yeah, man.
Awesome, man.
And the thing is, this was John. It was at John Bubber's place, and John, it's hard to get on his place unless you know him. He's only got 600 acres there, And but it was the right 600 acres, wasn't it, Andy?
Yes, sir. It was. It's he's got a very unique place, just like all these places out here. But what's crazy is when you go out and you look at his place. When I met John, very very good people. There's a lot of good people across the state that'll, as long as you respect their ground, like you take care of it like it's your own, they'll let you on
Yep.
it. And but we kind of hit it off when we met up, and looking at his ground, it's very diverse there, but to the average Joe, even for me coming back east, you look at it and you go, man, they don't look like a lot of animals there. But once you get to once you get to digging around in the hollers and the holes and kicking over cans, you learn that there's more there than what meets the eye.
Well, in fact, one of our listeners here, Vance Bishop, that's where he got his. He's got a nice
really?
whitetail off of there that I helped put him on that. I remember I dropped him off and he just started walking in from, it would have been from the north side of probably that same property you were on, but on the western part of it. And I mean, that deer was sitting in a little bitty hole, got up, and it was kind of cool because I was literally a quarter mile away watching through my spotting scope. And I saw the deer drop, and then I heard the sound. That was even cooler yet. But we didn't have cameras then.
So, what'd you get him with, Andy?
My 300 Winchester short mag.
Dang, nice.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is though, I should have had my bow with me because when I smoked him, he was 50 yards.
Oh man, that'd have been awesome then.
Oh, it would have been, but dude, the timing. That day that I went out, it was perfect that day.
That was a beautiful day.
It beautiful. The wind was perfect. It was just, I want to say the temp was like maybe in the high 30s, low 40s, somewhere in there.
Awesome.
And those whitetail, when I got there, after about an hour of being there, I realized that they were rutting. And it took me a few minutes to find them, but once I got on them, I think from the time that I got out the pickup and got my e-bike out and run across down to the prairie to the old homestead to the time that deer hit the dirt was probably not even 2 hours.
Awesome.
So it happened so
that's
quick.
Great.
And you realize he came down here and he was he wasn't far from me, but I was under the weather. I'd just been to that Farm Bureau state meeting.
Oh yeah, you were rough after
crap.
that.
I was like, I didn't see him. I mean, he was done, gone, and heading out, and I completely got it. I was like, I feel like crap.
No, I was going to try to run over it when you told me you were feeling bad. I was like, I'm not going to mess with it.
Did you get a chance to put any tape to them antlers or not?
I have rough scored him, and he was around 152.
Okay.
So he's at the taxidermist. So I'm gonna get I'll get a real good score here. Yeah, he was.
Man,
really nice.
anytime you can get a 150, that's especially with the population of whitetails now. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
No, he's one of the better whitetails that I've taken out here. Between North Dakota and South Dakota. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah, you can see right there. I mean, Andy's
right
not
there.
a small gentleman there, and that's a pretty good rack next to him.
Well, look at him brow tines.
Brow tines. Dude, that's the first thing. It's crazy because when I first spotted him, he was with another 4x4, and they were following these does through the sunflower field there. You can see in the back there. And I watched him come out at about 220 yards out of the sunflowers, and then they went over this little ridge. And I just got downwind of them because I knew they were going back towards that lake there. That lake that's on the east side of the property there. Yep. So I just got down there from behind them, and I knew the way those does were headed, and I got downwind of them. And man, I looked up. I was hunting the does trying to find him, and here he come through the sunflowers, man. And I just let him come, and then
awesome.
He come out, jumped the fence, and when he jumped the fence, he was 50 yards, but it was over with by the time he seen me.
Well, that one brow tine on there, that's really a flat but wide brow tine. That's got some
kind of bladed there. That's cool, man. He's kind of unique with that. I like that.
He really is.
Well,
great buck.
I nicknamed him Spoonbill out of that.
Okay.
even though I have no history with that bug whatsoever, when I seen that, because that was the first thing I seen with the brow tines coming.
Yeah.
Well, did John know that buck was there, or was that one that had gotten pushed on from the previous week, do you think?
No, he had never seen that buck. He did not know he was there. Yeah.
That's just
I think he had seen he had told me, because he's having an issue with them coming up to the yard, rubbing on his trees and tearing
Right.
his trees up there.
Mhm.
But he said he's seen that 4x4, I think it was.
Mm.
But when he's seen that one, he's like, that is not the buck that I seen. So,
So,
yeah.
no, he's a nice buck. That you definitely, for like I said, for the time frame you had in the window, you can't complain about that at all.
Hey, we look, a kid in the candy store.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh man.
for
Well,
sure.
listen, hunting's the only thing that keeps me sane. Working on diesel trucks every day between, dealing with the aggravation of the.
Oh, just wrenching can aggravate you.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
can't. So I'm a very impatient person. But when it comes to sitting down and trying to get on a critter, I got all the patience in the
I was
world.
gonna say, I was impressed. You said you seen him. You just waited there and let him come walking out. I was like, dang, I don't know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, what a funny thing is when I seen that buck, that piece of property, the way it's cut up, that sunflower field is not actually a piece of property that I can hunt. I was right along the edge. So I
Okay.
had to wait for him to cross over into the property that I had permission to hunt for me to be able to get a shot on him.
Perfect.
Would you hit him? High shouldered him there, it almost looked like.
He was quartering to me. I hit him on his right side, went in that front shoulder. The bullet never went. It never exited. It stayed.
Yeah, vaporized everything. What
Yeah.
kind of bullet were you using on him then?
Right
That
there.
150 grain Hornady.
Soft point?
Soft point, yeah.
Yeah. But he must have just dropped him right there at that range though when it hit him there, not?
Believe it or not, that dude, he took off and it hit him like a train hit him.
Mhm.
He run about 60 yards before he expired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can blow them up in the heart and no matter what. I mean, just the adrenaline, them deer. I mean, I've seen them run and you got them out and the heart's exploding. You're like, how in the hell did they do that?
Yeah, no, it's crazy, but
Yeah.
it just goes to show you how tough them animals truly
Yeah.
are, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
To survive some of the harsh winters they have to deal with out here in the Dakotas. It's
I
really
was happy the other day. I talked to a guy hunts north of Heber, and he was telling me about all the whitetails he was seeing there. He was talking like some big dandy ones too. So I was pretty happy to hear that. I mean, that's far south from our place, but I don't care. It's just good to hear them whitetails are coming back like that, and especially some with some size. They must have been laying low when the old EHD was coming through. So
yeah,
we got some other place.
There's a few nice ones left out there. So there's some good potential shooters coming up in the next year or two here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, one thing I noticed is that 2 years ago EHD come through and wiped out a lot of my good deer, but a lot of them there is some out there, and they got pushed onto some of my ground this year. A couple good places got bought, got grazed down pretty good. So I have 2 quarters that pretty much are untouched. I don't let a lot of things happen there. A little farming going on, and I try to. That's where I like to hunt, and it borders public land, which really got grazed. So I didn't know it, but I let a couple guys in there. And they sent me pictures. I think I sent those to you. I was like, "There, look at that." We have seed again, and it's nice to see that they came back. And I'm kind of excited. The next year or two, I should have nice bucks on there again.
Yeah, those whitetail generally come back pretty fast anyway. They've always seem to have.
But every nicer buck I seen this year after season, I went out. Not a one of them I saw during even the summer. So I knew they got pushed onto the place. I saw all the bucks that I had seen, later summer, earlier before season. But there's like 3 bucks that got pushed onto our ground, and they stayed. So hey, they can stay there.
There you go. Well, and the thing was, Clay, and I know I told you this. I was traveling back when I ended up calling you, trying to find a place down there, and that was that special buck tag that I had for West River for South Dakota. And I knew if I didn't at least have a chance somewhere to be able to try to fill that tag at the last minute, that it was going to kind of suck for me to eat tag soup, because that tag's like, I think those tags are like $480 or something.
I was gonna say that's an expensive non-resident tag.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Hey, it worked out. I'm glad, and John's real nice fellow, real good landowner, and it's pretty cool to learn some of the history, talking to him, with his family and how they pretty much homesteaded a lot of that ground down through there.
They did. Yeah, they've been there a long time, a lot longer than I've been in this area. And John's a good friend. Him and I used to hunt a lot of coyotes together. I probably learned most of my coyote hunting skills from John. So yeah,
that's cool. Yeah.
He's
So
one of
you were
probably-
down in North Carolina doing some hunting then, Andy?
Yeah, well, I'm down there. I moved some of my I moved my hunt trailer down there. We got a few things going on down there. I'm gonna try to do through the winter months here. And right now I've been traveling back and forth from there back here to Dakotas, trying to keep my business alive anyway, trying to put some money in the bank and got food to eat. But we got a lot of deer meat.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I take it, Mrs. Elliott, she likes deer meat too.
Well, it just depends.
So what do you usually make with your deer meat, with your venison then, Andy?
Most of the time I'll just take it, grind it up in burger and sausage for the most part.
Burger, even, huh? Really? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
Hey, Vance says you're supposed to stop in Georgia and say, hey.
I can't remember what part of Georgia's Vance in.
It's one of the suburbs there of Atlanta. I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm sure he'll chime in and let us know here. I can't remember.
Well, when I dip down through there, usually when I travel, because I'm the crazy one to do this. When I leave North Dakota, I hit the road and I drive straight there. I don't stop.
Well, when we go to Florida to go hog hunting, that's what we do. We just boom, we go. We stop for fuel, of course, but the occasional police officer who wants to give us a victimless crime ticket.
Yeah, victimless crime. Oh, but no, we got connections down there, so we got some other things going on as well. So I'm kind of back and forth right now, for probably to the spring anyway.
There you go. So there, advanced answers. Sonoa, 40 miles south of Atlanta. So
okay, yeah, yep. No, I know about where he's at there.
Corey super speeder. I'll have to tell you that story someday, Andy. I legally can't drive in Georgia anymore.
Oh man,
it's a long story. So I'll just go around it, fly over it, or just
Them Georgia highway patrolmen, huh?
Oh man, 92 mile an hour, I believe it was. With a North Dakota licensed vehicle, with a South Dakota plated Grizz's taxidermy trailer, a boatload of guns on board, and various other things. Oh yeah, we hit a deer coming out of South Dakota. When we was in South Dakota, we hit a deer with that thing. Lost the fender, plate come off, so it was sitting inside the pickup, and we lost the clearance plate. So we weren't exactly looking like we were probably legit, probably.
Well, I tell you, there's one thing about it. If you ever want to know when the rut's going on in any part of the country, just hit the interstate, because they'll be laying all over the highway.
Yeah.
You'll know exactly where it's going on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, there you go. He says, bring them along in February. Yeah, we're going here the end of February. So I think Axe is still going with us. So up from by Bismarck, too.
So are you guys going to be hunting hogs down there?
Hogs, yep. And we got a nice little place that we hunt down there, and a good friend of ours, and access to a lot of the neighbors' land around there too. Yeah, it's a fun time, and if things go right, we can even get a gator.
There you go.
I've never had. I mean, I've had gator, but it's nothing like it is when it's fresh. I mean, that was fantastic when we were down there.
Yeah, I think the last time we had gator, it was where were we at? We were in Florida. I think Palaca, Florida is where we were at last time. Me and my wife were there. Yeah. So I don't know how fresh it was, but I mean, we eat it. It was pretty decent.
This was fresh. In fact, we're the ones that cut it up. I think me and Eric, and I don't know if Corey jumped in there, but when you start cutting into a dead gator's tail, they still start moving. It's kind of like a damn snake. It's like, really?
No, that's cool. No, I mean, when it comes up in February, we'll see where I'm at, because for sure, I'd go down there. We'll hunt some hogs. We'll get on something.
Well, then we got to take 2 rigs for sure, which that'd actually be probably better. We're going to take 1 rig with a trailer, but it seats 4 comfortably. You can get 5 in, but if we take 2 vehicles, that'd be way better, I guess. So yeah, we better clear that with Chris, though. Make sure that's a go, because I don't want to show up with somebody that can't go.
Hey, there's some WMAs there somewhere, and they got hogs on them. I know.
Oh, you got to join us and have a good time. So, yeah, we even take the res game warden with us, so we're good. We can do whatever we want.
Oh man, yeah, perfect. You got to have a warden in your back pocket sometimes.
We're always like, well, show them your badge. Show them your badge.
Look.
Here
we go.
He's booked a whole month. That sounds like, man. You know what though? That sounds like a good time for you.
Oh man.
Another little Andy at 9 months later, right?
Oh man.
That'll cut into your hunting.
That'll cut into your hunting, yeah.
We raised our kid. We started a family early in life. So our last, we had 3 kids, and my son and my oldest daughter, they graduated, and my youngest one graduates this year, and we're done.
Oh my goodness, empty nesters. How old are you?
Sir, I'll be 43. Well, I am already 43. It was December the 2nd.
Okay, I'm 49. I got a 17 and a 14-year-old.
Bunch of you guys in your 40s yet.
But yeah, remember, we were married 8 years before we had kids. So
yeah. No, I know. They grow up fast, man. Spend a lot of time traveling on the road and doing things, and you turn around, the next thing you know, it's like, where did all the time go, man?
The old Cats in the Cradle song, right?
Right.
Vance chimes in, you youngins.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Here, Lynette.
Anniversary month.
So Axe, listen up. Lynette says anniversary month. I got to do that. So get yourself a first aid kit next to the bed there on the nightstand.
I think Doug and Lynette's anniversary is actually in November, so I don't know if that's going to work for Axe during deer season. And now that Lynette's son is there, Axe has got him hooked into hunting now too. So I don't know. You got to swing that, Lynette. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, we are coming up on basically 15 at the top of the hour. Should we do our double?
Yeah, let's hit the double here.
Go ahead.
All right, let's go. We'll hit it right here.
Lauer Auto Repair. They're located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota, or give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can tackle any problem your vehicle is having, and when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with the Pro Second Amendment America First Repair Shop. There's plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area, but why take the chance of patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake, Lauer Auto is your Pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them you heard they're a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our Pro Second Amendment, Pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308, located at 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota.
Guns and the 701 is sponsored by the Blind Guy of North Dakota. For all your custom window coverings, you can contact them at 701-222-3932. They're freedom-minded, they're patriotic, and they love the Second Amendment. This husband-wife team was born and raised right here in North Dakota and based out of Bismarck. Again, for your Second Amendment company, for all your custom window coverings, the Blind Guy of North Dakota, 701-222-3932, or visit them on the web at blindguynd.com. Now, again, thanks to our sponsors. We can't do it without you guys, and we want to thank you for each and every day that you give us support to spread freedom and the Second Amendment and get the word out. So I got to get back to the comments because they're just too good. Doug says, I'm going to put that up. She says, get ready, babe. and Eric Newman, he says, November is the rut, so anniversary goes hand in hand.
Oh, my gosh.
Gotta love it.
I like that. I like that.
That's funny.
Well, Clayton, should we hit on what's going down with the show here in the future? Then we'll hit some two-way bullet points.
Absolutely. If you want to stick around with it, you sure can, Andy.
Yeah, go ahead, man. I'm here. I got time.
Why don't we do that and let everybody know exactly what's going on as far as the Guns and the 701
So
program.
like I said, I posted something this morning. I made a decision. I'm going to be doing this show and 2 more, and the next 3 on Todd's show, and then I'm stepping aside. I'm going to leave the show here. Clay's taking it over. He's going to do a reset, but he's still going to be Guns in the 701. I'll be back occasionally doing some guesting. It's nothing personal. Clay and I are friends, and it has nothing to do with us not getting along or anything. But I got 2 more shows after this, and I'm done. Like I said, I'll be back doing some guest hosting here and as a guest with Clay, kind of like what Andy's doing right now. But other than that, I'm going to be out. I'm going to be out after a couple of weeks. So
Yeah, and we had a pretty good discussion last night about this, and actually, I was kind of kicking the idea, just saying, hey, it's like I kept telling him, the show is us. It's not me. It's me and you. It just, and it works. It's great. But, a lot of people kind of thought about it, and I even visited with my wife a little bit about it. And so I think we need to try and we've built something here. We'll keep it alive. Jamie's not going nowhere as far as, I know you're still going to be making videos out on the range and putting those up. And,
if I could be doing one out at Dougie on that's here on Saturday. So
yeah, I mean, he'll still be involved. He's still part of the G&The701. That's not ever going to change ever, as far as I'm concerned. We're still friends. It was no fallout.
Yeah,
I'm sure I know how this goes. People always jump to conclusions, but that has nothing to do with it. And we're also going to try and keep the K-Fire thing, visit a little bit with Todd about that. That sounds like that's a go. So the format we're probably looking at starting in January, because I've contacted a few people, at least to start with, to be kind of co-host fill-ins. So there might be different ones coming on each week, and that's fine. Maybe it'll be a little fun, get a little different perspective. But we're going to make sure that we keep things going, see how it goes. If the support's still out there and we're still plugging along, we're going to keep doing it. I just think it's a pretty important message that we had. And Jamie will come on once in a while, and we welcome that.
It's like I told Clay, I got all this podcasting live stream shit. What else am I going to do with it?
That's right. You're all set up, right?
Yeah.
And I can tell you guys, if nobody's ever done this, I'm sure Andy can to attest to this as well as Vance. I know Vance, guys, to do this show, it takes a tremendous amount of time to do it right, to do it and be informational. Yep. And do it professionally, I guess, of lack of a better term, to make it all run. I mean, it was pretty rocky. I went back and watched our pilot one, the very first one, Jamie. Yeah, we looked like a couple of greenhorns, didn't we?
Yeah, well, we were. There's no doubt about it.
You guys know what people really want to see. They want to see real people. They just want to see everybody being real, being who we are.
You're right, Andy.
Right, and not just telling it how it is and just being who you are, and that's what people like to see.
Absolutely.
And I never try to be this great orator who puts together these fantastic knock your socks off sentences, because that's not going to be me. So that's
Yep. No.
You're getting when I'm on here, that's pretty much how I talk to you in order in person, except I'm holding back the F-bombs and a few other things. So,
we used to let that fly a little bit. Yeah, we even toned that part down, which is probably good. But,
yeah.
I mean, we haven't had them on here for a while. We even had kids in my youngest boys' classes were watching. So I was like, we probably better not be doing that. But
yeah,
hey, this has been great,
man. I appreciate your comment there, Vance. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, a lot of time and dedication involved. Let me see if I can find that on my end here. I can't. If you got it there, click on it.
Yeah. I don't know if I can see if I can click on it. When I try that doesn't usually work for me, Clay. You said a lot of time and dedication involved. You've done a great job, Jamie. Thank you. And my mom said face plant, tears, face plant. Sorry, Mom. We'll talk about it in the hot tub over Christmas there.
I want to encourage everybody to still tune in, because we're going to try to make this just as good. Don't get me wrong. I told Jamie last night, I said, well, I'm not happy you're leaving. That just sucks, really. But
we're always going to be lost passion or anything. I mean, I'm just not going to get into the whole deets of my reasonings for it. But like Clay said, a lot of it had to do with time and money involved. So I'm just, Dave said I must have been a sailor at once. That close, Dave. I mean, I signed on the line, but a guy has some injuries and stuff happens. I'll tell you about that sometime off.
Yeah. Lynette, she says, you guys have done a great job. New doors to pass through. And it is. I kind of look at it like I keep telling everybody, we're basically going to relaunch here in January. And I'll let everybody know here the end of December.
Maybe you can get Andy on with Todd in the morning sometime there.
Andy and I talked a little bit about this on the phone, and I'm going to have Andy on a little bit.
Yeah.
I know he said he was willing to do it.
Andy's a great guest, man. You got a charismatic personality, Andy, and your voice is good to hear too.
I kind of think getting Andy on with us on 5:50 a.m. I don't think that'd be a bad deal.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Actually,
have Andy from Blade Rain Television joining G&The701 on K-Fire.
I'm gonna be listening anyways. I'm gonna be happy to hear Andy when I'm doing it. So
I don't know if all them listeners can handle my red.
Yeah, they'll get a chance to find out for sure. That'd be awesome, man. No doubt.
Well, and with K-Fire, we reach a lot of people. We got some carryover, but I can tell you right now, we got a lot of K-Fire listeners and a lot of live stream listeners that are separate. Yeah. The only thing they listen to is the K-Fire, and they might, they download the podcast, which we upload after every show. But I mean, it's everywhere, which is nice. So yeah, we're not. I just, I know when Jamie and I talked last night, I talked about, saying, you're right. Maybe we just need to step back for a while. And then I was like, I got to give it one. I got to give it a go, Jamie.
Yeah.
That's
I told Clay right away, you can go ahead and you can take the name and all that. I'm totally cool with that. And he said no. And then he called me today and I was like, I think he's having second thoughts. I soon found out he was, which is great. I'm glad you're doing it, Clay. I really am.
Well, and you're always going to be part of this show. That's just the way
sir.
It's always going to be. You're not leaving the show. I look at it as you're leaving the live stream. You're still going to be around. He's going to be doing things. Hopefully you'll still be doing some Facebook stuff because you know how I am with Fascist Book. I don't care for it. I'm in jail half the time. So,
all right. Well, all right. So
that's kind of what I just want to tell everybody. Jamie, thank you.
Thank you.
Been a hell of a ride.
Put into it, man.
Well, it's been a team effort from day one. I think back to when we were filling in at the radio, and it was a lot of fun doing that, and we were gaining a audience there.
Yeah.
Then we took about 2 months. We were sitting there talking back and forth. I'm hauling hay, and Jamie's like, what do you think about a name? And I'd put something out. He put something out.
It takes a while. It takes a while. Like I said, I've heard people say how easy it is to do it, and I said, "Hey, give her a go, man. I want to hear it. I want to hear what it sounds and looks like. Let's see it." So,
yeah. Dave says you can't change the name. He says I got a new sponsor sticker for my F-Class gear, so you can't change the name. We're not going to change the name.
No,
I mean, we got shirts and hats and a couple banners, so we're not going to change the name. But
Brian, for sure. I guarantee. He says, Brian Warner, Jamie, Mama Joe, and I still need to take you for a beer. We got a Bismarck. We get to Bismarck. It's going to be more than one, Brian. I can promise you that. And I'm definitely looking forward to it, brother.
Absolutely. Like I said, this is just a different chapter, I guess, that we could say in Guns in the 701. But I think we're going to do okay with it. And like I said, Jamie's not leaving. He's just not going to be doing much on the live stream. And he's still going to be part of this thing. He's always going to be part of this thing. He helped start it. So. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. I'll be pimping the gear all the time too.
That's good. Maybe we just had a redesign on the store, everybody. So please go check it out. We were able to get that shipping price lowered a little bit. So it's only like $5, $5.50, something like that. So, hey, now's the time. I guess look at it as a Christmas special.
Absolutely.
Go on there and grab some gear.
Why would you go buy some cheap shirts somewhere that you don't know whether they're backing your Second Amendment rights or they're pro hunting or pro coal and oil? Why the hell would you do that? You can get that right here.
Absolutely. And we don't have crappy shirts. We got name brand stuff, and that way they last.
Andy will tell you them trucks, they don't run on electricity and rainbow farts, man.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
No pixie dust here, brother.
Your wife says no shopping. Oh, come on. One little shirt.
Bust out that credit card now. Come on.
All right. So, yeah, again, that's what's going on with the show, guys. So we'll still be here every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock Mountain Time, 7 o'clock Central. It's going to be a little bit different, and hopefully it doesn't disappoint everybody. Josh Patterson says it's going to be different without you, JD. Yeah. It is. But like I said, we'll still have him on once in a while.
Different. That doesn't mean it's going to be worse. So.
No. And then, so I can tell you right now, I know Vance Bishop's going to jump in there and help us out for a little bit. Corey Merriman said he'd do it. I was kind of looking for guys that could jump in because they have the knowledge and how to use the stuff. I think my buddy Mike Deacons, he's from Mitchell, South Dakota. Known him a long time. He's actually on the radio out there, so he's used to this kind of stuff, and he has a lot of knowledge. He worked really close with me with the NRA banquets, and I'm going to try to get a lot of different people. Andy said he'd jump in there once in a while. I'm guessing he still will.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we'd love to have Andy on and help out here, and we'll just kind of see where this goes, or whether we keep
Andy doing some of them machine gun looking videos he does.
There we go. There we go.
I'm polishing them bad boys up right now.
and if you haven't checked them out already, go to Blade Rain TV on Facebook, give him a like and a follow, and just check out his page. He's got a great page over there. So I really encourage that. So all right. So that should answer everybody's question.
Yeah. Hopefully. So all right, Clay, let's hit some Second Amendment bullet points. Who's up?
Yeah, go. You want me to go first?
Yeah, if you want, it's up, I'll leave it up to you.
Okay, so all right, I'm going to pull one
shit
up.
now.
Oh, I'm running this now. Huh? Well, I kind of brought one up here that has to do with a federal appeals court. You know me and my court and my
Perfect.
that stuff. I like to inform people. This has to do with New York's concealed carry law. So there was a 261-page ruling. This happened on last Friday, actually. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals struck down portions of the New York Concealed Carry Improvement Act. So if you guys don't know, that act was basically making it, improvement in New York. That's an oxymoron. But anyway, I can tell you right now, that act was going to make you, if you wanted to apply for their concealed carry permit, you were going to have to disclose all your social media stuff. I mean,
What's wrong with that,
was
Clay? What are you hiding?
Everything. So it was going to require social media disclosures and restrict carrying on private property. Get this. How do you like how this is worded? Private property that is open to the public in places of worship. So all churches, which makes no sense.
Yeah,
and then you've got
shot there.
Private property that's open to the public. Well, that's problematic, and we're going to talk about that a little bit down the way here. The ruling also, though, rejected a lower court decision to block a portion law that requires applicants for concealed carry to demonstrate good moral character. So they don't want morals. The
Like Governor Hochul does?
Yeah, exactly. But yet you're supposed to demonstrate good moral character by whose standards? By New York City's? I mean,
Clay, where in the Second Amendment or any of our Bill of Rights does it say you have to have a good moral character to have freedoms and liberties?
Nowhere.
No,
Nowhere.
You don't. You can be a jerk and treat people like crap and call them names, and you still have your rights.
Well, you know where I fall on this. I don't even believe in a concealed carry permit because I don't think the government has the right to take the right away that I have and then sell it back to me for a fee based on their own requirements. I've never believed in that. And yes, we have constitutional carry in North Dakota. It's not great. It's a start. South Dakota's is probably the way to go. And I tell you what, Wyoming's is good too. I mean, Wyoming, anybody can carry it, just like in South Dakota. I helped write that bill down there in South Dakota, so I know exactly what it says. And it took a while to get it passed, but we did get it. So the Director of Federal Affairs, Aiden Johnson from Gun Owners of America, he says the ruling's a mixed bag. It failed to apply the text, history, and traditional test, which we all know that comes from the Bruin case. That's exactly what this is supposed to be based on. And this one, kind of, it really isn't, because the 3-judge panel, now I'll give you her, Judge Dennis Jacobs, he was appointed by George H.W. Bush. Gerald Lynch was an Obama appointee, and Eunice Lee was a Biden appointee. So I'm surprised they even got the ruling that they did, to tell you the truth. And remember, a panel is not the full District Court of Appeals. It's the panel, so it can be appealed further on and even end up in the full District Court of Appeals panel, the entire deal there. But here's a problematic one. Given that most spaces in a community that are not private homes will be composed of private property, but they could be open to public. And what they were saying in this particular statement is think about anyone who lives in town. How many times have you had someone just, maybe a kid, ride his bike across your lawn or wander into your yard? Well, what they're saying is if you have that happening, now it's public. It's open to the public because it don't have a fence up. It doesn't say stay off. So now they're saying you're not going to be able to carry on your private property because it has public access. And that's how far they're going on this.
God, these people come up with anything.
So yeah, that's one part.
It's never going to end.
They keep doing it. The social media disclosure requirement, the court found that requiring that disclosure, it presents big First Amendment concerns, which it does. And essentially, you're not going to have to do that now because it's going to impose infringement on the Second Amendment as well as the First Amendment. So I'm actually kind of surprised they struck that part down. They did block an intrusive social media provision, and that had to do with being intrusive and having to confirm your good moral character. They did strike that part down because how on earth? I mean, who's going to make that decision?
Well, according to Democrats, you don't have good moral character if you support Donald Trump. So, I mean, that excludes half the country right there from it.
And not only that, according to Democrats, we don't have to have any morals whatsoever. So, I mean, which way do they want it? So, anyway, I just wanted to bring this one up because in a 2A bullet point, there's a lot more to this. it's encouraging. I imagine it's going to still end up going up the chain and probably be completely thrown out based on Bruin. I'll keep an eye
I
on
hope
it,
so.
and I'll update everybody. So that's one of them.
Yeah, good. Well, I hope so. Good one there. Lynette says, looking forward to your shorts, Jamie. Yeah, hey, well, a lot of them will be being done out of you and Axe's place.
Yeah, he'll have time
Rob,
for more now.
yeah. Rob Schmidt says, thank you for your time, Jamie. Good luck, and hope to hear you on here in the future. Thanks, Rob, and you certainly will. Dave put up caution landmine signs. I like.
There we go.
I like that. All right. So I'll get into one of my 2A bullet points here, taking us back here to World War II. Did flamethrowers from World War II? Do you think they exploded when they were shot, or didn't they? Because I mean, we've seen that in the movies, right?
I guess I don't know. I mean, I've actually had the privilege of using one. It's in the video.
Yeah, in the video.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if they could have been shot through at that time with what they had for ammunition or not. Tell you the truth.
So yeah, the flamethrower came of age during World War I there, and it was pioneered by the Germans. German engineering. They did think up. I mean,
they were good.
Germans,
they were good engineers.
Yeah, their leadership was garbed there for about 30 years, but they are great engineers. Of course, it was regarded as a very inhumane and cruel weapon, but it was also very effective at clearing trenches, buildings, fortifications, and especially bunkers. I mean, if you see Private Ryan right in the beginning when they get on Omaha Beach and the guy gets up there with the flamethrower and flames out the bunker, and the guy turns around and says, "Don't shoot, let them burn," and the Germans are coming out of there on fire. So, I can't
imagine. Can you imagine being hit with a flamethrower?
Yeah, but I mean, I'd rather do that than have to go in there and clear it out. Stick your head around the corner. You get the flamethrower guy in here. That's perfect.
Absolutely.
So by the end of World War I, it was used by pretty much all the combatant nations. They caught on to that deal for clearing them out. And there were two types of flamethrower delivery systems. You had the motorized vehicle or the tank. We've also they were called Ronsons in World War II, like the Ronson lighters.
I've seen those, yeah.
And of course, the ones that the infantry guy carried, which consisted of 2 cylinders pretty much strapped to the guy's back, which is what you see usually, right? Yeah. And heavy, short range. And the U.S. Marines, they had their flamethrower, and it was introduced in 1943. It was called the M2, weighed 68 pounds. That's heavy. I didn't think
got a lot of
heavy,
weight to it.
Yeah, wait till you hear how the Germans, how much that sucker weighed. So the effective range, 65 feet, carried 4 gallons of I guess I didn't really hear what the Americans had in theirs. The Germans had diesel or gasoline and some kind of oil they mixed in with it. And the M2 it was like I said, 1-man flamethrower, had 2 cylindrical tanks there. Clay's got a picture of it going right there. Yep. We had 1 smaller tank that pressurized. Andy probably knows all this kind of stuff working on trucks. Pressurized tank contained non-flammable nitrogen gas or air. A hose connected to the nitrogen air tank to the fuel cylinders. Of course, the long hose led to a nozzle with an ignition system and a trigger. And pull the trigger. The thing always had the little flame going. Just kind of like your torch you carry light fires with in your house and whatever. And so the Germans, theirs was introduced their second gen here in 1935. It was called the Flammenwerfer 35. It's a good name, Flammenwerfer. That sucker. Okay, the Americans was 68 pounds, right? The Germans 79 pounds. So that's why a lot of German guys have huge legs. I guess their dads and grandpas are stronger. Yeah, and the effective range 80 feet, but it only had 3 gallons. Whereas remember I said the Americans had 4 gallons. Mm-hmm. FW35. I'm shortening it up. 1 guy carried it, and of course it had the 2 tanks, basically the same kind of operating system that the American one had, with the small nitrogen or air tank pushing the fuel. And and just shooting these things, that would not. I mean, it's kind of like shooting a propane tank, right? The first time you ever tried that, like one of the little green ones.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. if you get on the podcast there, Clay's got a video here. You guys shoot that sucker. That's a nice.
Yeah, this
goes
is a
out
little
there
bigger
a
than the
ways.
one you have in our intro.
So, yeah, one Axe has for
I
sure.
love that. Look at that.
Why is that guy holding him? Does it kick or what? I mean, there's a guy behind him bracing
Well,
his arm against the tank.
I'll tell you what, that one I did down there when we did it just at the, well, they called it the Minuteman base camp. That's where the old Minuteman missiles were.
Mhm.
I had a guy back there was kind of holding. You couldn't see it because it was dark. They have a lot of thrust, and that was a World
Yes.
War II era
It was
one.
like
There
a
was ton
jet.
of
Yeah,
thrust.
yeah.
It was pretty
okay.
cool. It really was.
I guess I've actually just throw a damn match on a fire full of gasoline and that sucker goes up. That'll damn near knock you on your ass sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Dave,
But
Dave
so-
says, "Hey, buddy, got a light?"
so yeah, just if you just shot that tank, it wouldn't blow up, you know.
Right.
Unless, of course, what you needed was the armor-piercing incendiary rounds, which in that case, if they did that, pierce the tank, it's on fire, boom, then they're going to blow up and vaporize. But part of the danger was from the nitrogen pressurized tanks. If you shot that, I mean, not that you bleed like a fresh kind of paint or whatever, you shoot that, that thing will blow up and you get shrapnel. While you get one of these big heavy tanks like that and you get that thing blown up, probably get some shrapnel in your back or whatever, right? So yeah, the answer, yeah, you can blow them up, but you got to have the right kind of round. And I guess I'm assuming all the sides had incendiary armor piercing rounds. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's that big of an advancement that the Americans are the only people who had this or whoever. But yeah, and of course they were heavy, and you had to get close. So if you're trying to get close with your flamethrower, the enemy's probably going, look at this dumbass trying to get close. I'm gonna pick him up. You know, get that machine gun up here and mow this guy down. I don't care if he blows up or not, but but yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting because everybody's seen the flamethrowers, and then it's like that. They are badass. I mean, I've shot basically a toy one compared to that out at Dougie's, and that's still got me charged up. They're awesome. They're fun to use. So
they are. And like I said, the big ones. That one I just showed you, that was the M2. And I think that was what we were shooting down there.
It really rumbles in the headphones too.
Oh, I'll tell you what, man. There was nothing like it though. The thrust on that thing, you know, that would thrust you back. There's a lot of power in that. And
thrust.
I can't.
What are we talking about here?
Like holding a fire hose.
Probably. It's probably Andy's anniversary month in February.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh man, that's great. That's great. Doug said that's on his Christmas wish list.
Yep, he's got that on there. So yeah,
we're gonna do that. Wouldn't be a short there, Dougie. We're gonna do like a 15-minute one on that if you get one of them things.
Get it ordered.
Yeah, and of course the tanks. I forgot to add. I said the tanks could shoot up to like 150 yards out of there. I mean,
man,
you know,
imagine that.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what you do when you're starting to pick your guys off who are carrying it one by one. Get the tank up here and drive up and let the bullets bounce off.
Love it. Love it.
All right, Clay, you got another one or what? I got. All right,
go
ahead.
I'll do a quick one here, and this is probably
I'll do
no
a quick one
surprise
after
to
this.
everybody. As you know, Vista Outdoors, they sent out a letter. I'm sure Dave probably even got one of these. Guess what's happening? Ammo and bullets and powder, everything's going up again. Yep. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that, let's see if I got this letter, if it'll come through for you guys. I don't know if you can read it, but this was put out December 1st by Vista Outdoors. Shotgun shells are going to be 1 to 7%. These prices are basically going to be effective January 1st, 2024. CCI, Federal, Heavy Shot, Remington, Spear, Alliant, all them kind of powders, which I imagine, if I remember right, Ram Shot is now owned by the same people. They kept the name, but it's I believe.
Yeah, Hodgdon owns them now.
But rifles 1 to 7%. Handguns going to be 1 to 5%. 22 long rifle is going to be 1 to 5. Everything's 1 to 5, 1 to 7. Of course, Winchester 22 mags, of course, 1 to 7. Primers 5%, and powder 10% with a limited availability, and that comes from Brett Nelson, VP of Sales for Sporting Products. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening with that.
In short, get your ass out. I mean, don't put yourself in debt, but make sure you get yourself stocked up on stuff. I mean, I have been on bullets and powders. That's why I'm going.
I never
test
quit
my new rifle. I never really did either. I kind of slowed down, but now I got this new rifle, this Grendel, and I want to. I definitely got the powder down for the 95 grain Predator.
Well,
bullets,
I'll
but
give you a
for the deer
little
ones, I got
little information here on all of this. Basically, the past 20 years, the rise has just has been going up really fast, and I've seen it, and it's on everything. So I'll give you the largest single year increase in ammo since 1976 occurred in 2008, and that's when the price index climbed by 23%. The second largest increase took place a year earlier in 2007, when the index rose by 14%. So 07 and 08.
When we thought Obama was going to win, and then after he won. So thank you, Democrats.
Yeah, yeah, thank you, Democrats. Let's see. Dan says Dakota Rifle Company in Dickinson has one of those flamethrowers for sale. There you go. There you go.
Dougie, road trip time, buddy.
Oh, man.
Dave did put out here, though. He says that it's second here. Now my deal quit. All right, there it is. He says that it's about 5% each year or every other year is what's been going up anyway. And that, maybe this is a lot about nothing. They basically sent out their letter.
I would add to that. I actually, when I was using XBR a lot, and I went to Shields, and it was up for no damn reason. And I actually IMR powder and asked them, and the guy's like, just what Dave said. He's like, it goes up every year, no matter what. It's just a matter of what percentage it goes up.
Right.
He goes, I didn't make the decision. I'm just telling you how it is. I'm sorry, but that's.
Well, when you look at the numbers here, so between 2004 and 2015, prices doubled in between that time period. Which, I remember seeing. Price, but that was a big span. I mean, that's 9 years.
20 per. What do you say? 23%. I mean, that
was the index.
That sucker went in dry there. Oof.
Here's a good example: 06 and 07 from the guy that had this. He says I could buy a case of 1,000 rounds of 5.56, and they cost me about 15 to 20 cents. Today, they're between 60 and 70 cents per round for the same deal. So I mean, when you look at that, 2006 to now, it's a. I mean, really, it's went up, but it hasn't went up that much, honestly.
I will tell you this, Clay. Before the meat puppet got put into office, I could get 1,000 rounds of the CCI 41 military small rifle for about $30. I just bought one, $100 $100 in 3 years. So that's how much that baby went up.
Well, and here's 2019 to 2022. Prices have climbed by an estimated 19%, outpacing inflation, and climbed 14% over that same period. Of course, this writer, he goes, some of it could be the pandemic era stuff when it was happening, but he said, he says it was rising long before that fake pandemic came along.
At the rapid rate that it is, I don't know that it was.
Well, so he broke down the numbers from 2000 to 2022. So in 22 years. It has been an increase in small arms ammunition by 157%. That's actually a lot.
That's bullshit, man.
Because in that same period,
I'm saying it's bullshit that we get stuck with that.
In that same period, it was only a 70% increase in inflation over a 22-year period, which is a lot, but double that, or actually it's more than double for the price in ammo. So it's just I don't know what to tell you guys. They blame it on a lot of things. I will tell you this, though. There was a rumor, and I knew this already. Lake City Army ammunition plant, which is the biggest one out there, and they produce a lot of things for NATO, U.S., for the civilian market. They are not closing down and shutting down production for
civilians. Yeah, I did actually read that, Clay, too. That because they were saying that was the gospel, and it was.
Yes.
Which, when you got somebody like Joe Stalin, Biden as president, that's what happened. So
yeah, that's right.
so what was CCI doing something like that where they were shut down selling to civilians, filling military contracts or something that I heard?
I don't think they were shut down per se. I just don't think they didn't have the stuff to make them. Is what I heard for anybody.
Well, I don't know. My buddy Shane was over in Idaho there, and he was saying that it's in Lewiston there that they were doing the cutting the civilian sales, doing all military contract stuff now.
Yeah, because a bunch of that's going over. We got the war. We got the war in Ukraine, and we got Israel, and both Israel's huge. They get the same ammo we got. They use 5.56. So that's. They're getting
Well, yeah.
and we're giving them rifles. Well, why would you need guns to defend yourself? I don't get it.
Crazy
Well,
concept.
all I got to say is just keep pulling them handles, boys. Just keep.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I was doing it last night, Andy. So
Yes, sir.
my second bullet point here is going to piggyback on that. I mean, it's a good news, bad news for the price of things here,
Hey,
right?
I got to throw this out though.
Go for it.
Doug, he's got a comment here, and that's directed at Dan. He goes, "Thanks for the info, Dan." He says, "Can they make a wife receipt for me for that flamethrower?" I like it. And
that's a quarter of what you paid for it, man.
and Dave, he says barrels have shot up aggressively in the last year, $100 or more, and I don't doubt that they've probably risen more. Steel prices, I've seen steel prices just in fence posts and everything else go sky high. So, and let's face it, everything. How do we get our products? By truck.
Yep.
And I don't know about you, but I've looked at diesel prices, being I own a diesel. It's not cheap to buy diesel compared to 2000.
Dirty fuel. It's dirty fuel.
You know, guys, from just 2 short years ago till now, parts for trucks. I ain't talking about
Crazy.
pickups. I'm talking about on highway heavy duty truck. They've over doubled in price.
Yeah.
And people, they complain about what it costs to fix stuff nowadays, but also you got to look at the cost of that, the cost of fuel.
Absolutely.
You can't hardly find drivers, so they're scrapping to try to find drivers to run across the country.
Well,
to deliver these goods.
and we know what caused that. When they made it so hard to get a CDL, I knew we were going to lose drivers, and it did. And that's on purpose. That's on purpose.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I waited later in life to get my CDL. But when I decided to do it, I did it before all those implications came into effect. I had a guy over in Minot where I did mine, and but nowadays, guy goes tries to get his CDL, he's got to go through school and all kinds of crazy stuff.
It's
and it's just
insane.
well, it is, but there's nothing like real world driving out there.
Exactly.
Hauling grain across Montana,
You're exactly right,
Wyoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just school's not going to teach you anything. You got to get out there and do it, man.
Anything real world. I mean, if you listen to any of these,
you guys see that one?
Do labor,
labor. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, Dave drives. We know, and he hauls anhydrous. So, he's got a hazmat as well.
Yeah.
So I was gonna piggybacking onto what you kind of said here, Clay. These are going to kind of tie together.
That's kind of awesome. I mean, we don't tell each other what our 2A bullet points are.
No, that's how we did it. We decided we were going to do that. So because we settle on one or two things and we hit. So last month saw a significant bump in the number of background checks for gun sales when compared to the same month in 2022. And remember, Clay, was it on here? Todd's show? We did the record Black Friday. I think it was Todd's, right?
We did. We were doing them on Todd's. And by the way, or is that what you're going to do that now?
I'm going for the month of November. Yeah.
Yep. Go for it.
Yeah. So like I said, compared to the same month a year ago, they're up.
I had that too.
The total stands at 1,595,476 according to the NSF, and that number is 5% higher than November of 2022. Adjusted NEEX figures from 2022 are 1,519,524. And of course, Clay, and this is, like I said, it's good news, bad news. There's more gun owners, and that means less ammo and less reloading supplies. But, and this is the good news part of it, November continues to trend over 1 million gun background checks per month. That is held for the past 4 years.
Yep.
4 years, baby.
4 years of consistent. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
crazy number, but it's I agree.
It is double edged. I mean, it's good and bad.
So again, like when the prices went up when before the election, when they knew Joe was coming and he was going to be the most anti-gun scumbag we ever had, and he has been. And then afterwards, when he got in, it's been just keep steamrolling, baby.
Yep.
And I
just hope a lot of these people go get training. The ones that don't know how to use a lot of these arms.
Man, Andy, if you ever go to a public range, you will see, I hate to say it, but you will see incompetence on display with more than one person. It's almost scary, to be honest with you.
No, that's why I don't go to none of the public ranges.
I haven't been there in a while.
No
You'll get muzzled. Hey man, don't worry, it's unloaded. Really, your fingers on the trigger.
Yes, sir.
The trigger. Yeah, I can't believe how many people I see. And I got my finger in the trigger. What the hell? Come on.
Yeah, Dave's got a good bionomics, me boys, at its finest.
This is the proper way, not like this.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, now we're getting nixed on YouTube.
Dave says, remember, if you hold a concealed weapon permit and you shop at a nice little ma and pa shop, 1760 Sports, those purchased don't go into this statistic per 4473 directive.
There. Even better yet.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I did say adjusted. I gave the adjusted number. The non-adjusted was over 2 million, which Clayton's explained that.
Yeah, and I'll do it again quick. You got to remember, guys, there could be multiples on there. When you buy 2 or 3 guns, it's not a background check for each one. It's one form. There might be 3 guns on there. It's a multiple purchase, and they can do that. So yeah, that gets counted as 1 background check, not 3 in those stats. So who knows? I mean, there could be a lot of those out there, and of course, nobody has a clue about private sales taking place.
Yeah. Doug Thompson says, and the damn commies, along with 200 countries, made agreements to eliminate all fossil fuels. Pricks. These people live and run. Andy, is there such a thing as an electric tractor trailer that pulls a semi trailer?
Actually, yes, there is.
How far can that go?
I don't know, but I can't imagine it going very far being electric.
These electric cars, when it's freezing cold, I mean, look at your phone when it gets cold. The damn thing shuts down. It loses power.
So, right. And I mean, I do possibly see to where there's a use for that in some places, maybe in cities and stuff. But far as pushing that stuff out here where we're at, there's no way that stuff is ever going to work out here. Never.
I agree with you. That's what I always say. Hey, if you live in New York City and you want to take your little quiet electric car to and from work, I'm totally cool with that. Just don't force me to do it. I'm totally 100% with your decision to drive especially a Tesla, because he's one of our guys now. Go ahead and buy one of those. And then
man, what's crazy is we got a guy that we do work on his truck, and he hauls cars for a living. And he told me right now most of the stuff that he's bringing in on his car rack here to the Dakotas, he said, is electric. I was like, dude, you got to be kidding me. He said, no, man. He said most of the stuff they are delivering now to the dealerships, not only is it electric, but it's already sold before it even leaves the truck.
Attention, Colorado, go to those, those classes and get upgraded on the electric cars.
Dave, he has on there a Tesla 500 mile at 78K, right? Not really. My uncle actually owns a new Tesla car. I don't remember which model.
Well, he figures here the next comment they mastered the weather issues for batteries and drives.
No, they haven't. Not on his anyway. His is only a year old, and he said that when it gets cold and gets in that 10 to 0. You're looking at 150, maybe 175 for miles.
I can tell you my mechanic ability goes to just cleaning the carburetor on my snowblower.
I'm going to show you this, guys. I'm going to show you this. I went ahead. Has nothing to do with guns.
Yeah, he's talking about the Tesla Semi. I've seen these.
Yeah, these actually ain't the Tesla ones, are they? No, they're not.
No.
But look at this.
That's Cascadia. Is that made in Mexico City?
Yeah, 1.5 hours. 250 miles. The other one here, guys, it's underneath the chat. 270 miles, 75 miles. Speed? Yeah. I mean, this is not going to work.
But something here.
These even get worse.
What's crazy is you see this stuff in these statistics that they post. You know where this stuff's done at? Even all the years of me working, having a diesel technology background, working some bigger companies, when they do testing on let's talk about frac for a minute on big diesel.
Yep.
Big diesel pump down units. These test banks that they run this stuff in only goes on the 10 to 20 degrees below zero. They don't understand that we're dealing with 50, 60 degrees below zero weather out here.
Freaking
and most of this stuff is done in a tropical climate, where most people want to thrive. They don't really put it to the grind and to test to see what it really does.
And then when they talk about your charging time, guys, they're usually using a fast charger, not your normal charger. I mean, I look at this one here. Here's another reason not to do business with Anheuser-Busch, the gay beer. I mean, you got right here, 167 miles, and it's going to be Anheuser-Busch as their major customer in 2023.
Well,
That's
the
just
reason
another
they
reason
do it
not to use
there
them.
is because they don't give two shits about people who live up here in flyover country. You know, the people who
Yeah.
actually keep the country going. We're in our
Right.
cities. We got plenty of food. I'll tell you what, just stop the semis from going in there for 3 days, and it'll look like a zombie apocalypse in about 2
Dude.
hours there.
They have no idea. They have no idea how much food is sitting out here in these granaries out here. No.
Yeah, and then like Dave says, he goes, I don't believe that they're the answer. He says Elon even says it's not feasible everywhere, and it's not. It's more idea for a local route. There's probably a place for him, like I said. There's a place for him, maybe in town.
Big time. Yeah,
I don't care if you want to drive one. I mean, I really don't. I still think that they're missing the boat. We've had the technology around for decades on our trains and the big coal trucks. Generators by either diesel or gas and electric motors at the wheels. 100% torque and power at your wheels. No drivetrains. I mean, they don't get any simpler than that, and it's been around for decades, and it works. I don't know why we're worried about full electric.
Get away from that. It works too good.
Well,
I mean,
right.
I would love to have a pickup that has a diesel generator with 4 electric motors on my wheels. Holy crap! I could pull anything I want.
Well, you can't find diesel technicians. I mean, there's a shortage of diesel technicians to the diesel stuff, and there's not enough people that understands the electric stuff. So it's like how I think that's by design too. So it's like how are you going to keep? Yeah, probably so. So I don't see how they're going to keep it all on the road. To be honest,
I'll tell you what, Andy, I want my goddamn Promise freaking laser gun that I seen in the cartoons when I was a kid. By now, where's that shit at? Put that magazine in and fire it all year, man.
Hey, we're supposed to be like the Jetsons and flying cars by now.
Man. Yeah. Hey, and where are my laser guns?
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying. Where was that shit at? I'm waiting for that.
Hawaii,
so Eric, he chimed in here. He says, I watched Ford. This going back to the range deal we were talking about. That we're attending the police academy shoot down the 5x6 posts that hold up the backdrops at the public range. He says, I made sure they got reprimanded for sure. And these idiots want to be cops. You know, that's exactly. That's not that's the really shining example, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not saying all police do that, but I have seen a few years ago down at the Bismarck gun range, and I was like, whoo, really?
Yeah, I noticed that too, Doug, that oil and gear.
Hey, Dan on here was a sheriff. He's a sniper, though. I'll tell you what, I don't want to be on the wrong end of Dan's handgun for damn sure.
That's for sure. and Dan Brown's one of the good ones. He truly is. And if you want to see a good example of a good police officer, Dan's your man. Yeah, you know that's and Jeremy Moser was a guy that worked with him too on our NRA banquet committee. Them guys are great guys, and they did it right. And I can't say enough good things about them. Is just I guess my point. There's good guys out there. There's always bad apples.
As with anything, for sure.
But we're coming up on the bottom of the hour, so
yeah,
I'm not going to do the Akami company this week.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's do our last ad, and then we'll come back with the happy ending here. Let's all be happy. Okay.
Lauer Auto Repair. They're located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota, or give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can tackle any problem your vehicle is having, and when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with the Pro Second Amendment America First Repair Shop. There's plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area, but why take the chance of patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake, Lauer Auto is your Pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them you heard they're a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our Pro Second Amendment, Pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308, located at 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota.
And again, thanks to Lauer Auto Repair. They do a great job in there. And I imagine, it's been a little light winter this year, but I bet the roads ain't great. I know I was just up in Bismarck. I didn't think much of them. So stop by and see Axe and the boys down there on South Washington.
Don't wait till it's too late. Get it fixed when it's nice out, so you're not.
Absolutely.
If you wait till the weather gets crappy and then you want your vehicle, and guess what? Then they're backed up.
Exactly. So Dave says, I'd love to see these e-trucks climb Homestake with a 6-inch slush. Yeah. If you guys don't know where that's at, look it up. That grade is horrible. That's a hell of a grade.
Yeah, he sent me a video. He was going like 20 miles an hour on it. So I said, better ye than me.
Yeah.
All right, so here's where we're coming up right now.
Still love that video.
Oh,
I say
yeah.
that every week.
The guy tried to rob the convenience store, and he got, looks like a Glock. Looks like a guy stuck a Glock in his mouth, and that was the end of the robbery attempt. So, so the happy ending here, two homeowners returned home the morning of July 19th in McDonald County, Missouri, and they found a stranger broke in, barricaded himself inside a room. The intruder, heard when these people came home, fired a shot at them. So, but guess what? He messed up because the two homeowners turned out to be armed citizens. They returned fire. I don't know why I think this is funny, but they shot the guy in both of his thighs. I'm picturing like they both shoot and each one like hits him one in each thigh, and then
Damn.
so he was laying there squealing and hollering. They went in, disarmed him, held him at gunpoint until law enforcement arrived. They transported the intruder to the hospital. He faced charges of burglary, assault from the first degree, armed criminal action, and possession of a controlled substance. Wow, imagine that. The guy was probably freaking high. So maybe it deadened some of the pain when he got shot in his thighs.
That is a happy ending. Though.
Yeah.
He didn't die, but he's still happy.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a really happy ending, but it's a
Ace
happy
Ventura,
ending.
pet detective Dave chimes in. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. One thing I got to do though before we sign off is, if everybody doesn't know it, let's see this. It is Ted Nugent's birthday. So happy birthday to Uncle Ted. He is 75 years old today, guys.
Clean and sober too. Clean and sober.
Clean
Yeah,
and sober.
Sober, yes, sir.
And I mean, the guy, he's still going. He did have his kind of farewell tour, I believe it was this past year.
Hey,
So I'm
Ted,
telling
I
you,
got
this
your back.
guy,
I'll get one for you.
this guy, he's a true defender of the Second Amendment to the core, and he's a good ambassador for what we all do as far as being patriots. And if you haven't caught it, he's got a show on Real America's Voice every Friday night, and that's pretty good. I've been watching that, and he don't hold back, does he?
We got the nightly Nugent on Facebook too. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So, and if you don't like Ted Nugent, I'll tell you what.
Nasty person.
Classic, man.
I love that. I love that.
He don't hold back for sure, man. He lets you have it.
No,
You don't like what he's got to say, tough luck.
Yeah.
Oh, he does, and
I mean, it's
you know
common
what?
sense to me.
He might drop a few F-bombs, but the guy he's a genuine guy, and
Yeah.
he does a lot. He does a lot for kids programs, both in archery and in the shooting sports. And to me, he's a big ambassador of the shooting sports altogether. So happy birthday to Uncle Ted.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Happy birthday, Ted.
Well, with that, then I guess let everybody know we will be back again here next Wednesday, 6:00 p.m. Mountain, 7:00 Central. We also have Mitchell in the morning. We come on at 8:15 Central, 7:15 Mountain on every Friday morning. So we'll be there again this Friday morning. I don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll come up with something between now and then.
Tell you what, I got one story we're going to talk about. The guy was hunting an old feller out in Pennsylvania, died in a fire in his tree stand.
Oh wow! Okay. Oh,
it's kind of not a happy story, but something that's kind of an interesting story. I'm sorry we're going to have your expense, sir. We're going to have a story for you on Mitchell.
I kind of do have another one too, but it goes more on a happy ending. That I'll run it by you, see what you think. It has to do with a Ford truck owner using his gun to stop armed man menacing on motors. So that might be kind of interesting.
I'm liking where that's going right now. I don't care if it's a Ford or a Toyota or a Chevy or what.
Right. That's right. So, but yeah, again, every Friday morning. And like I said, you guys, if you didn't hear, JD is I'm just going to say you're retiring from the
I'm retiring in 2 weeks. Yep.
But everything's good. But he's still going to be joining us. We're going to have some other people filling in, and
I'm going to do like Andy and just swing in about once every couple of months.
There you go.
Come in when I kill a big deer. Hey guys,
check this out. Did it in 2 hours. But Andy, I'd like to thank you for coming on tonight. I think that was some
Andy,
great
thanks.
information.
You're awesome.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, guys, and I appreciate you guys, everything you guys are doing.
Thank you.
But yeah, Jamie, it's gonna suck, man, to see you leave. But when I seen you kill that big three, dude, I don't know what it is about them big threes, man. But them
Oh,
big threes, they're awesome, man.
yeah. I sent you the
Yes.
video too preseason
Yeah.
when I seen him. I know I sent that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
seen him bedded down, and I knew I was like, I told my buddy, I looked over, I'm like, man, we're getting him. Really? I'm like, yeah, I got to get
Oh
him.
yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, man, but those threes, I'd rather hunt a big three all day long than the biggest muley that you can find out there. I don't know. They
Yeah,
hold
there's
us
something.
apart.
Them rear tines on them big threes are always so
Yes,
tall,
sir.
man. It just makes you, oh God, look at that.
Well, I can tell you this. I
Yeah.
don't know if my 3x2 I've been trying to kill around here disappeared or somebody got him this year. If they did, great, because that's all he's ever going to be. But yeah, he's huge and he's big, and he needs to go in that big old fork and them threes.
Man, I'm more
I'd
into
take him.
being bigger, unique than I am getting a big perfect 5x. I mean, if I get a big 5x5, I'm awesome with that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd rather be lucky and good any day, brother.
Yeah, I guarantee you, man. When he was down and I was getting tag on him, I was all teeth. I loved it. My buddy Travis can vouch for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, Clay, maybe I'll have to put in for a rifle tag down there because I sure
Heck
can't
yeah.
draw one up there where I'm at.
Come on down. We got land down here, and then
Awesome,
you can hear the guys that come. Well, how'd you get on that guy's land? He don't let nobody hunt. Well, that's not true. It just lets certain people.
Well, and it goes back to what I said earlier. You got to be respectful of people's stuff. When you, if it don't belong to you, you still treat it like it's yours.
Yep.
And what gets me is people go through gates and then and when it rains, they drive down their prairie trails and their fields and they rut everything up and people don't care, don't have no respect. And that's the reason if people would get back to that and start respecting people's stuff like it's theirs and take care of it, maybe a lot of us hunters would have access to a lot of private ground that we lost.
Yeah, rather than I run into a lot of it. It's just like, and it's the younger ones mostly. They seem like they think they're entitled to it.
Yes,
like,
they ain't
what the
entitled
hell?
to nothing.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
And I built a lot of. I didn't always have my own land to hunt on, so I hunted a lot of other people's land. But I built them relationships over time. Got to know them landowners and become friends with them. And that's how it's supposed to work.
Right. Well, and if you offer them something, like what gets me is you get a lot of guys, they want a handout, but they don't want to hand nothing back. Go out, help the man fix his fence and, offer to come over maybe once or twice a week or on the weekend, help him with his cows, whatever he needs, So get back to helping one another like that. And that's how those relationships build. And I mean, this is exactly how I was lucky enough meet you guys, and I was able to fill my South Dakota tag this year.
Andy, even hey, thanks, Brian. Thanks, Dave. Even if you couldn't do it, if you make some good sausage, go ahead and feel free. I mean, yeah, a lot of these ranchers and farmers make their own sausage, but man, at the very least, if you can get them back a couple packs of some jerky or whatever,
yes.
I mean that's just showing appreciation. I mean, a lot of people understand that. So
when I used to travel out and go to Wyoming or Colorado and go hunting, you know what I always took with me? Fresh beef. I have a lot of it. That's what we have here, and guys love that. Now I didn't have to, but I sure thought I was very
freaking beef.
Nasty person.
Yeah, exactly. But I always felt very appreciative of being able to hunt private land and not having to pay. Yes. And that's hard to do in Wyoming, but I was able to meet a few people and don't be afraid to talk to people. It's okay. If
what's the worst that can happen?
Tell you no, right?
Yeah.
And who knows, you might still visit with them and maybe next year, just be human. I guess that's the best way to put it. Be a human.
Yeah.
Be a human, be who you are and stay true. Try to stay true to your word, man.
Why don't you throw Josh's comment up there quick, Clay, before we
just saying here. All right. Yeah, what's he got here? He goes, my son has been bow hunting some private land that I told him he needs to get out there and help that landowner on the ranch, whether it's fixing fence or working cows. Show the appreciation for letting him hunt. Absolutely, Josh, and I can't agree more with that. So,
and guess what? As a bonus, Josh, your son will get bigger muscles throwing calves around and fencing and pounding posts.
and he'll and strengthen his work ethic. There's nothing wrong with that.
100%, man. Fixing fence all day, I'll tell you what, that'll go a long way in somebody's attitude when they look at it. I promise you that. Sure. I don't know if anybody picks rocks anymore, but we used to do it by hand. And
I got a rock picker. I put it behind a tractor.
Yeah, I know.
There you go.
That's good shit. That's a good way to do it. I don't recommend doing that shit by hand anymore.
Oh, it sucks. Yeah. So. All right. Well, I appreciate. Unless you guys got something else, I think it's time to sign off and
You
call it
bet.
a night. So,
Nope,
Andy,
I'm
thanks
good.
again. Loved having you on again here. And
Good seeing you, Andy.
we
Yeah,
still
man,
got
good to see
2
you
weeks
guys.
with Jamie,
You
so give him a lot of grief and but again,
Well,
thanks.
hopefully we'll see what happens next week. I'm gonna be doing some traveling next week here.
Yeah.
Through the middle of next week, and then we'll figure it out. And then come February, if my wife don't have me tied down, maybe I'll be because I do want to get down and go kill me a hog down south.
That'd be some
So
fun. Well, let's talk more about that here off the air that next few days and see what happens.
Okay,
Doug
sounds
said
good.
Dan said he's
doesn't
gonna clear it.
include the farmer's daughter. Or the rancher's daughter, for that matter.
Oh my goodness! All right, guys. Well, again, thanks for listening, everybody.
You
Catch
bet.
us Friday 8:15 Central on KFYR 550 AM, and Wednesday night 6 o'clock PM Mountain, 7 o'clock Central. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in for another great episode. And as I always say, keep your powder dry. And what else were we adding, Jamie? You remember?
Do some hunting and shoot some guns.
That's right. Do some hunting and
Boom.
shoot some guns.
All
All right. Thanks, Andy. Thanks,
Yeah,
Jamie.
man.
Hey, Andy.
We'll catch you
See
guys
ya.
next week.
See ya.
Later.